watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fam, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 347 of the Battle Herons podcast. I am your host, Dan. You get another, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
This is the first L of the season. It was fun.
Third.
In terms of the regular season,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But it was. I don't want to say it wasn't fun because there was a lot of goals, but
No, it was a fun game.
We got a lot to get to, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. There's a lot to get to. General thoughts?
Masha sucks. Masha sucks.
I wasn't going to say that, at least not like that. I was going to say, I wonder if everybody that thought that getting Tata out of here are still feeling as confident about that decision. I always thought that Tata did enough to keep his job. I understood the way they lost to Atlanta, why it was acceptable to fire him, because that is a fireable offense. But I always thought that he should come back. And, the team hasn't looked great. And I think today falls on Mascherano. I think the last couple of weeks might fall on Mascherano. But that's a conversation we can get into right now and throughout the show, I suppose.
Yeah, general thoughts to me are heavily Mascherano made a lot of really problematic decisions today.
I would agree. The atmosphere. Now, I didn't make it to the game because I'm going on Wednesday, and I didn't feel like making that hour-plus drive twice in 4 days. So I sat this one out. But you were out there. How was the atmosphere at the stadium?
Well, a lot of people that were not Inter Miami fans went, for sure. I mean, the tickets were cheap, so I imagine a lot of people did go for a cheaper price. It was more packed than I anticipated. 5 o'clock sunny day.
It was brutally hot. That's what it looked like on TV.
It was brutal. For the first half, at least for me, on our side, It was brutal. Second half was fine.
Andres says it was not fair for the subs as they do not play frequently together, but the roster is not as deep as Danny says. You say it's not as deep as Danny says. I say they played all the backups and they had a 3-1 lead. Sounds like the subs did pretty good. It sounds like they have a pretty deep team to me.
The fully rotated team won 3-1.
They were up until like the 60th minute. The squad was looking really good. At no point. If you tell me in the 60th minute we're up 3-1 and we're still creating chances, you tell me you're about to lose this game 4-3, I laugh at your face.
Up until Mascherano started making more decisions other than the starting lineup, that's when we got completely cooked. And I did not walk away with 57 new koozies, Raimundo. They didn't give any out. I didn't see it.
I want to ask.
No, nothing. I had to bring in a giveaway. The cooling towel. That's how hot it was.
All right. And then starting 11. Oh, and I'm rocking my Believe shirt because I'm already ready for Wednesday. Even though we lost today and we're talking about Dallas, I'm thinking Believe already. I'm rocking Believe shirts all the way up until Wednesday because we got to win. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
So batterfans.com if you want to get yourself some Believe shirts. All right. This was the starting 11. Now, we figured there has to be rotation just because there's literally only 2 days between now and the most important game of the year. We're in a worse spot than we were against the LAFC. So you kind of figure that they had to rest some guys. Any surprises, and what did you think about the starting 11?
Well, before we talk about the starting 11, I want to bring up some comments here. First, let's bring up the Super Slam here by Christian with a CH. Okay.
Oh, love it.
Not $5 Super Slam by Christian. Oh my God, you're gonna give him a double. Much focusing on his Ed Hardy outfits and not enough on the team. Any truth to the rumor about Messi? Vocalize his frustrations with.
I only saw
Mush.
that in one place, and I never saw it or reposted or even reported on by anybody else that's credible. So I don't know if there's any truth to that at all.
And Rick A says he's still waiting for the Battle Herons Miami versus everybody fighting cello shirts. I think that you should get to working on that immediately. There,
I already have it.
Oh, Rick A.
I made the shirt. I never put it on the website just because I thought that when Ian Frey got back on and started playing, I was like, Cello's never going to see the pitch again. And I was like, why am I even going to put this shirt up? Literally, and I'm telling you, this is what I thought. He's never going to see the pitch again. Why am I even going to put this up there? So I didn't. And lo and behold, here we are. And Cello has been starting, which is wild to me.
So there's a couple questions here. Okay, Danny, there's a lot of questions to be asked, and I don't know if they're going to be answered. Okay. One of them is Ian Frey had a hell of a game. And then, reliable Sean Callahan just said Gressel got waived just now.
Oh, did he get waived?
Now, I got to tell you, just to talk about Gressel, on his Instagram post 6 hours ago, he posted up a picture watching from his house.
So just real quick, just so people don't think that I'm lying. See, parental advisory sticker and everything. I got it done. So just so people don't think I'm lying.
Just so you guys, again, know, Gressel was watching Minnesota versus Vancouver earlier today. He was rumored to go to Minnesota. I didn't know about this Gressel getting waived. That's diabolical that he got waived. There's no way. There's no way. But starting 11, Danny, was I surprised? No, but at the same time, I was very surprised that they threw Kremaki in at the 10. I thought that they would still give Segovia some time to be able to run the 10, but they didn't. At least not in the first half.
Outside of Falcon, I would assume none of these players are going to start on Wednesday.
Well, it's a shame because
Right.
Ian Frey,
yes, absolutely. No, we'll get into that for sure.
Carried.
We'll get into that. But this is why all these players are on the pitch today. And maybe even Falcon, maybe he doesn't start. Maybe they're going to pair up Noah Allen with Toto Aviles. Because, well, I mean, I guess technically Toto Aviles started today also. So I guess that would mean that he would start. So, so outside of one of the center backs, nobody else here is going to see the pitch on Wednesday, at least not to start. So this was a fully rotated squad. And that's why Kremaski is at the 10, because Segovia is probably going to start on Wednesday. Can you think, and who else would play the 10 outside of Kremaki? I can't think of anybody.
Morales. I mean, I'm just giving you options. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
know. I don't know. Kremaki, I think, is just what makes most sense. And he didn't have a bad game.
He didn't. No, he didn't. He was actually the one thing which I guess we'll talk about when we break down the game a little bit. Ben Krem was used all over the place for corners, for set pieces. He was, I mean, the instruction was Kremaki is going to be doing the wheeling and dealing. And that's what we got. We got some Kremaki wheeling and dealing this game. But other than that, I liked this starting 11. I think I liked Alfonso and Obando starting for the first time. Aviles at the CDM role, I could get that because he pulled that. Mascherano pulled that off when he brought him in as a sub last time at the CDM.
The thing is, in the beginning of the game, for a lot of the first half, I thought that they were just playing with 5 in the back, or at least 3 center backs, because Aviles was dropping back
like
far.
Yeah,
but then eventually, maybe it was just like instinct to drop back that far, and then I felt like as the game progressed, he finally started playing that CDM role, pushing the ball higher up and maybe contributing to passes into the final third. But initially, I was like, is you playing with 5 in the back? But no, it's just that Aviles, just off of instinct, I think, was just dropping further back.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. I picked that up, and they were playing on defense on the other side of where we sit. And I was able to pick that up. I'm like, oof, Aviles is playing pretty back. Yeah. But then I got comfortable in his role because Bright is already a defensive-minded midfielder. So it's not like he's advancing. Right. I mean, he was robbing people blind left and right. Just couldn't connect the damn pass.
What did you think about Drake starting?
I get it. It's against Dallas. I understand it.
I thought that he would start. Obando, I was happy to see Obando start.
Yes, I was
Good for you.
happy also. Very, very good. And not only am I happy to see Obando start because he does need to get the minutes. He needs to get comfortable in this team. But I mean, Alfonso, man, he showed more Ghana, I guess, to me than Obando did. At least from my perspective. I don't know how it is from your perspective when you were watching it on the screen.
No, I'm with you. And then real quick, Mr. Krabs, I said
Regular
MLS
season, Mr.
regular season.
Krabs.
Feel free to go back and check the archives. I said it, and I remember I said it a few times to make sure everybody understood. And I didn't think that we were going to lose today. We should have won.
I mean, and now might have been Jeff is saying Danny curse, Danny out.
Why? We lost
that back in.
All right. So that was the starting 11. Let's take that off screen. Yeah, I mean, the starting 11, I thought I was okay with it. I like these kind of games.
I
these
love
games.
I love
yeah, I love like I didn't go because I didn't want to make that trip, and then they play home next week also. Like I hate driving that far.
No, it's a disaster.
And because the new stadium's right around the corner, I think it's made me even lazier about making the drive because I know the new stadium's right around the corner. Because I've made this drive so many times, but like, oh my god, I hate it. So but when I really heard like the lineup, I was like, man, it's gonna be a fun game because I love watching like the backups, the young guys kind of just go out there and kind of just be scrappy. It's fun. It's fun to watch those games.
Yesterday on my way back from my daughter's graduation, my son and I were in the car.
Shout out to your daughter. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations on my daughter. She got her AA before even graduating high school. So that's wild. Yeah, that's awesome. The brain. Listen, I got to take a little bit of credit. You know what I'm saying? I got genius
the
brain
apple
too.
Falls far from the tree.
No, it doesn't. Okay. So we saw the new stadium and it looks gorgeous. Like it looks amazing. I think it can finish by start of next season. So
yeah, I saw some of the upper levels, like the seats are like it looks like they're already there.
Yeah, they're cooking quick. It definitely sucks because we have this game, then we have the Wednesday game. Shout out to One World, thank you. We have this Wednesday game, then we have next Saturday game. Then we have another game a week after that. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, but the weekday games, we finally get a break from those, at least for a little while, I think.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Vancouver matchup later, but as far as like the recap is concerned, and this starting 11, I loved seeing the starting 11. It's a game that I knew was going to be fun, and I was totally okay with Drake Callender playing.
All right, so recap. Well, I guess that's your part right there, right?
Well, I mean, recap. Basically, I was watching. For some reason, it was weird. There was a guy from New York that was behind me that was rooting for FC Dallas. But then when I told him that the Red Bulls play next week, he's like, I don't care about the New York teams. Like, what are you doing, buddy? And he got off like after they scored the fourth goal, ran across. Like, he was a disaster. I'm pretty sure Matty Ice can probably attest to this if he gets on here. Guy was a mess. But we get scored on first 8 minutes of the game. It was a disaster. Shaquille Moore, Shaq Moore gets his goal. And what was it? I don't remember the goal in particular because it happened on the other side of the pitch.
They were working the ball on the left side. Somebody got a shot off. It was blocked, but then it kind of just bounced out to where Shaq Moore was kind of just standing. Literally, if you look, watch, he's just standing there waiting to see what happens. And then he just knocked it far post. Nobody was marking him. I can't really tell whose fault that was, but he was just unmarked out there, just hanging out, waiting. But then again, I mean, this was, and like somebody said, like these players don't have any chemistry. That back line doesn't have chemistry. You have David Martinez playing left back.
Never in his life.
Right. And Falcon, I thought, had a great game. And we're going to get into Falcon later. And he had, you were in person, so maybe you couldn't tell, but on TV, they're really focusing in on him. And I forgot the other defender's name. The one that everybody's like, oh, he's like the best in the world. No. The one from Dallas, number 3. Everybody kept talking him up about it's the one that scored the goal. Oh my God, he's so great. His name is Uruguay.
You're talking about Uruguay or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, the one that Joe Shaw was telling us about him also, about how he thinks he's the
Yeah.
best defender in the league.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
they were consistently like grabbing each other, and it became
Oh yes,
a
there was a
focal point.
battle.
It became a
Yes.
focal point in the game, like on TV. They kept focusing in on those two grabbing and talking to the ref, and then grabbing each other. And we're gonna get into the goal, but as soon as that guy he scored the goal, the second goal, he immediately looked at Falcon and then gave up one of these like open arms, like "What's up?" Like,
Yeah.
so it was like a battle. It was fun to watch. I like that. But
Well, that was the first goal, and I was like, "Oh man, we're completely cooked. Like this is the B team."
yeah, okay. So that's what you chat. How are you feeling after the first goal? Honestly, after the first goal, how were you thinking? After the first goal, I was thinking, "Oh crap!" Like I was like, because I came into this when I saw the roster, or I'm sorry, the 11. I was like, "Let's get a draw. If we can get out of here with a draw, I am happy." That's honestly
Yeah.
what I thought. And they scored in the 8th minute. I was like, "Oh no, this isn't good."
We're done. We're done. I thought this was going to be the most miserable game I'd ever see in my whole life.
Soccer Daddy said that he was still feeling good.
No way. I thought we were completely cooked. Like Dallas came with their squad, and we're playing them with our B/C squad.
From there to there, said after the first goal, should have stayed home.
Yeah,
I'm sure that.
Yeah.
I'm sure in that heat, I'm sure there's a couple people that thought that like that should have stayed home.
Yeah, because everybody's getting the heat. The only people not getting the heat were the West. Were the West stands.
That's why they pay so much money.
Yes, and so I thought we were completely cooked, even though they were working the ball and Fafa was getting ahead. He was doing all he can to sort of make the plays happen. But I thought we were completely cooked.
Yeah. All right.
But then after that,
yeah.
Fafa ends up getting a goal, and he gets a goal at the 16th minute. Now
actually, they take it back. They called it an own goal.
Well, that's what we thought it was going to be, because Jose and I were watching, and it looked like it came in. It looked like it passed the line.
I thought Alfonso got the goal, and that it went in and came back out, and then Fafa scored. And I thought that if there was a correction, they would just give it to Alfonso. I didn't think they were going to call it a known goal.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to do that either. But Fafa gets labeled as the goal scorer, and this was obviously, from what you guys saw, Ian Frey created it.
Yes, he megged the defender. He brought the ball down. Was that the first or second?
He crossed it. No, that was on both goals. On both goals, the first two goals, he created it.
Yeah, no, it was the first. It was the first one where he megged the guy. He went down, and he almost went out of bounds.
Yes.
And then he crossed it, low cross, and then it was a little bit of a mess inside the box with Alfonso, and then Fafa getting it eventually. But yes, Ian Frey completely. And it's funny because we always say we want him to start because we feel like he's better defensively, and he gives you a little more in the attack.
A little more.
But he was like really attacking today.
Oh,
he usually doesn't have that freedom. I don't know if they play like that if Messi and everybody else is playing. I think it's today that they're like, it's the young guys. Just let them play. And I think that's why they looked so free to do whatever the hell they wanted.
Well, as you could see on the setup you had Alfonso on the right. But I felt like Alfonso and Obando were playing like a double striker. So Ian Frey always had freedom to like hit the right side. I felt like they were pretty flexible with that. Like Fafa stayed on the left.
Ian Frey like he was playing a right wing back is what he looked like he was playing today.
It looked like they had rotated it. Like usually we attack through the left. It looked like we were attacking more from the right because Fafa was coming in from the left. David Martinez isn't going to attack. He's chilling back there as a left.
David Martinez was pushing up today also. Today kind of felt like a Tata type of game because we had everybody pushing up.
Yeah, well, Ian Frey was pushing up more than David Martinez. That's what led to this to the first goal. And then we go to the second goal, which is where Alan Obando gets his first goal. And that was also an assist and creation by Ian Frey.
He did like a Mortal Kombat type of goal. Like he like threw both legs up and kind of just karate kicked it into the back of the net.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But so I love that he ran into that space because when Frey centered it, I don't think that there was anybody where he was centering it. You just,
No.
you center it because that's where you're supposed to have a teammate. And Obando attacked that space right there with his karate kick back of the net, and that was awesome. All of a sudden, you're up 2-1, and you start feeling pretty good.
And that was what, within the first 30 minutes. First 30 minutes. And then even in the end of the first half, we were still like attacking. Like we had Dallas up against their heels. We're still attacking. And this is where you could say offense is the best defense. Because of the attack, you were able to keep Dallas uncomfortable and not have Dallas be able to create and attack efficiently enough. So at that point, you get to the half, and all of a sudden, you're up 2-1 with a team that you didn't anticipate to be up 2-1 with. And as far as I know, I would have expected to be able to say, you know what? This game is going to be huge.
Yeah, no, I at halftime, I was feeling pretty confident. I love the way that they looked like they were dominating, in my opinion. I felt like they were dominating the game. Ian Frey was holding on the right side. Kremaki was making great run. Fafa was looking dangerous. I thought the entire team was looking good. Falcon, I felt like he was chasing and breaking everything up. Bright was having a great game. I thought that everybody was playing really well. So and was it in the first half or the second half that Drake even came out and cleared the ball with his head? Like I felt like
that was in the second half.
Everybody was playing well.
Oh no, that was in the first half. Yeah, right. It was first half.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, first half ended. How did you feel? Because I felt fantastic.
Oh yeah, I thought that this team was going to win because Dallas hasn't been a great team so far this year. They don't score a ton of goals. So, and they don't have Peter Musa playing. I'm thinking to myself, they scored that one where it was just the ball just landed at Shaq Moore's feet, and he did a great job going far post. He scored, but they haven't looked dangerous after that. I was like, that's it. In the second half, this should be ours, and that's honestly how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dennis is saying I was fairly confident at the half. Second half turned into a crap show at one point. Mascherano thought he was closing it out with the subs opposite, which we're going to get to that. First half, I was like, this is great. For the backups, this is fantastic.
Absolutely.
And like I said, our defense was doing well enough that they were able to contain their big hitters, and our offense was keeping them back, not allowing them to be comfortable enough to push up aggressively. And we had Yannick Bright stealing everything back there and turning it back over on a pass. Like it was.
And we had speed. Great. We had Alfonso, like you said, to keep him honest. Because if we could catch them on the counter with an Alfonso with the Fafa.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, the second half gets started.
The second half gets started. And at this point, so they're going away from my angle. And we're still attacking. Like we're still progressively attacking. Dallas didn't have as much momentum. I don't know if they had an opportunity before all the substitutions came in. As far as I know that Drake had a huge stop, like a double stop, before the run of goals happened with Dallas.
Yeah. He had one where he blocked it and then it like rebounded and then he threw his body in front of it the second attempt.
Yes,
Drake had a decent game.
Yeah, Drake.
I don't think any of the goals. I don't think any of those goals that went in. He had a chance to stop.
Well, and let's talk about the one that we scored before we finish. The last one, which was David Martinez, and I actually thought that was Kremaki that got it, but it was David Martinez that literally hustled and bustled his way, literally body bagging people. And let me tell you, shout out to Benha. He was body bagging people like crazy too.
Well, I don't know if you got a good look at that last goal that we scored, but the defender literally was bear hugging him.
Yes, and David Martinez
because he noticed that they were up. Yeah, and he noticed that all of a sudden he crossed into the box. He had to let him go. He's like, "Oh, I can't give up the pen." As he lets him go, here comes David Martinez, and just gets between Benha, the defender, and the ball, and then just out of nowhere, just left foot far post. That was wild. I don't know. I didn't see where David Martinez came from. I wasn't sure what happened until I saw the replay. I thought it might have been Benkrem that somehow got a foot on it. It was an interesting goal.
Well, I mean, look, Upcode, stop Benha sucked. I'm not gonna say that he had the best game, but
I thought he had a good game.
he had a good game considering being the
Yeah.
10, the one that had to sort of do all the cooking, I guess.
Yeah, I
And
thought he
on
had a
top
good
of
game. I mean, he
and
didn't
on
have a
top,
great game. Do you see that first free kick that he
No.
took?
oh,
I
it was
remember when-
awful, right in front of
when-
me.
Right, yes. When we set up for the free kick, and I thought, okay, Messi's not playing. Matias Rojas is no longer
I
here.
didn't know
We
who
don't
was
have
gonna take
Busquets.
it.
I was like, who's taking this? And then I saw Benja. I was like, oh, I don't know if he has the touch for this. And he didn't.
No.
That thing went. I think that might have hit a Dallas supporter up there.
It might have. I
Yeah.
didn't see who it is, but it went too high. Motaland.
Yeah, that was wild.
Well, after Benja literally body bags opposing players and David Martinez scores the third goal, how did you feel?
Oh, I thought it was in the bag.
Yeah, it was a wrap, right?
I thought the game was
3-1.
over. 3-1. It's about to be the 60th minute. Like, it's over. Like, this,
Yes.
and the way Dallas has looked up until this moment, it's a wrap. There's no chance that they come back and win this game. That's what I was feeling.
Yeah. Well, I after we end up scoring, I just got an alert right now. MLS investigating incident for the Minnesota and Vancouver game. Players involved in reported violation of the league non-discriminatory policy. Uh-oh.
I was watching that game. I mean, it was nothing that showed up on TV. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna have to look into that. We might have some Vancouver players shut out.
No, that has nothing
Breaking
to do with
news.
That has nothing to
ESPN.
do with CONCACAF.
You
They'll
never
still be
know.
able to play. All right.
So
Well, after we
Uh-huh.
scored the goal,
Dallas made
made some
substitutions. Yes.
they put on Pedrino, which ended up being a big part of that game afterwards.
Yes.
And they moved
Pacey ass Abubakar.
and they moved Anderson Julio from up top as a center forward out to the left side, like a left wing.
Yeah.
And that made all the difference because he started burning us on the left side. So those were tactical changes made by Dallas.
Yes.
Mascherano, he
It's what can you say about that?
I don't know what to say about that because that was a disaster class is what I can call it.
Well,
So
moving on to the goal.
I don't know if this
So-
was something that was said in the comments, but I don't think at least Chris and I didn't do this. I don't know if I haven't been keeping up with the chat.
Nobody, I don't think anybody compared
Yeah, no,
Ben Krem to
I
Messi.
wouldn't.
I don't think anybody did.
All right, go for
I
it.
don't know. I mean, look, Urog Hyde ends up scoring a goal to make it 3-2. Now,
Now-
I don't know if this was the goal that sort of like trickle bounced over Calendar where he like
Yes.
tried to dive back and he couldn't get it.
Yes. So before this goal, they've now focused in on Falcon, and I can't pronounce this guy's name.
And
I'm
the
sure
matchup,
eventually-
Urogide.
Urogide.
Urogide. Yes.
Tour guide. So they've been focusing in on this for a better part of the second half, and they keep showing them grabbing each other, yelling at each other. The ref has a conversation with both of them, and then before this, I think it was a set piece. They again focus in on them, and Falcon grabs him. He breaks free. He gets a header, and Falcon did everything necessary. He gets a header that goes nowhere. But
Yeah.
the ball bounces right in front of him, and he puts his legs to it. Now, on regular, the way he kicked the ball, that had no chance of going in. But he
Yeah.
kicked it with so much force that it bounced off of somebody's leg and kind of just redirected and
Yeah.
just landed right over Drake's leg. So he celebrated, right? Like, aha, I got the last laugh.
Yes.
But like that wasn't necessarily like a clinical finish that you're like looking at
No.
Inter Miami players and like, what are you doing? That was just luck.
Well, and I saw, look, Drake, after we scored 3-1, I looked at him and I could tell he was relieved. And I was like, oh man, this is going to feel good for Drake. 3-1. He walks away, only allows a goal. After that goal went in, he didn't have anybody to blame necessarily. He kind of just like looked around. He's not to blame in that goal. The defenders aren't to blame in that goal, but he looked like, oh no. no, it's gonna happen again. This is gonna happen again.
Yeah, the way that got deflected, it was just bad luck. But at that point, it's 3-2. I still felt like, okay, well, they got that lucky goal. We should be able to stop it here.
I want to mention something here because a lot of people are talking about Rojas, and I'm going to go with the last Rojas message here, where Stancy said Rojas wanted to leave, but he also asked for a ton of money. I want everybody to go back to last year. I want everybody to go to the last play of the Atlanta game, I believe, where we played at Atlanta. If you look at that play where we get scored on, he ends up playing the worst defense alive. I'm going to see if I can cut the clip up and put it up on Twitter. It is astronomically terrible defense. So I don't think you guys want Rojas as bad as you guys really think you do.
But Rojas, I mean, we never really counted on him for defensively, no?
No, but I'll show you the play. It's a disaster.
Okay.
So,
right, so they scored the goal, and we immediately sub out Falcon.
We immediately sub out Falcon for Noah Allen. We immediately sub out Pace for Redondo and his little touch madness that he does in the middle. And at this point, Mascherano thinks I'm cooking now. Because there's so much things that happen at that point. Well, Noah Allen goes left back.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
David Martinez moves to the center. Now, the part that
Aviles goes back.
Now they went with
5. Because that's when
back.
we play 5 in the back.
Right. They went 5 in the back.
Yeah, Redondo plays with Bright in the double pivot.
So this is the part that confused me. Like a couple things, I guess. First, we went to the Columbus second half from last week. And we all feel like we ran out of there with that 1 goal difference, and we got out with the win. But we all felt like Columbus had tons of opportunities that they just missed.
Yeah.
After seeing the way we parked the bus last week, why would we go for that again?
Well, I felt like these substitutions rolled the red carpet out for Dallas.
Well,
allowed them
opportunities.
Yes, and the thing is, us playing less offensively is keeping them off their heels, right? Now they can be able to just focus forward, attack, and they're going to get something at some point.
Well, and the other thing is, why take off the only vertical threat you have at that point? Well, Fafa also. You only have 2 vertical threats at that point, right? You can keep them honest with the counter with Alfonso. All of a sudden, we have Fafa, and that's it as far as the vertical threat. You now put in Redondo. Like, if you're going to park the bus, you have to give yourself an opportunity to counter. At that point, who are we countering with? Fafa, and that's it.
Well, you got Fafa, and then you got Obando, maybe?
No,
Not
Obando,
even.
No, Obando doesn't seem like he's a speedy guy.
Well, Danny, we ended up getting, after that, we got okey-doked because 4 minutes later, that's when Anderson Julio puts in a goal down the left side. Pedrinho ends up getting the assist on that goal. Now, that was a blunder. I do remember that Lujan, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was caught out of position on that one.
Yeah, he just lost his man. He came in behind him, ran in behind Lujan, and then at that point, Drake's caught in no man's land like he was so many times last year, and he came out, but he got the perfect. You just gotta hope that you come out, you ruin their angle enough where they're gonna go just wide, but most players are gonna get that far post.
Well, that ties the game, Danny. At that point, we're playing for a point, and then we make another substitution 6 minutes later. First of all, we'll keep going. 6 minutes later, we end up bringing in Segovia in for Yannick Bright, Allende in for Obando. So now it's like, okay, let's start playing offense now. No more defense. Let's start playing offense now. Complete switch.
Yeah.
Like literally within 10 minutes. The 65th minute, he makes defensive substitutions. 75th minute, offensive substitutions.
I don't understand why he took off Obando.
What a mess. What a
Obando,
mess.
Obando was having a decent game. Allende has never played striker so far this season, right? He's only played on the wings. I didn't understand. And then Segovia, I see people saying that he's useless. Segovia was getting saucy. He was creating. Now, did he do anything great? No, but he was getting chances inside of the box. He was. If you watch back the few
Listen,
touches that he had in the final third, he was creating. He was doing more than I can't think of anybody else in the last 10, 15 minutes that did more in that final third than Segovia did.
I mean, did he do that? There's so
Watch
many
back to
people in the chat.
Watch back to 10, 15 minutes.
There's so many people in the chat that are literally cooking him for breakfast.
No, but because he didn't do anything of substance. But again, the last 10, 15 minutes, nobody else did anything with the ball outside of him.
Oof, Rick's just slapping it down. I don't want chances, Daniel. I want results.
Go back, watch the last 10, 15 minutes, and you see that he created opportunities. He made space for others. They just didn't do anything with him.
Dennis Lopez chiming in say, I give my left sack for Gomez.
You have 2 sacks, Dennis?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
And let me tell you, I wore this shirt because I was like, I got to wear this one time since that's it. I can't wear it anymore unless I go to Austin. And from there to there, or from there to there, yes. Robert Taylor would have had a hat trick. This would have been a perfect game for Robert Taylor. Perfect game. Which, by the way, just talking about Gressel, like him not playing this game screams that Gressel is just not fitting. So I don't know what's happening, whether they waived him, whether they traded him, what's going on. But if there's any game that he could have played, it would have been this one. So
yeah, I mean, it would have been the summer of 24, right?
Yes. So I don't know. Look, Dennis is saying they're at his knees. Moving on. We end up getting the substitutions in at the 75th minute, Danny. Dallas is moving in on us. Pedrino ends up getting a goal in the 81st minute. Seals the dub for them, essentially.
I'm blanking on that last goal.
I don't remember the goal either. I think that he also got in behind someone as well, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to take a look at the highlights again. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that Pedrino ends up getting in behind and ends up another one where Drake has to come up, try to make himself bigger, right, as a goalkeeper. And then he just gets scored on. I mean, we get scored on, dude, like of 3 uncontested goals in the second half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you see it there. Like he ends up, if I'm not mistaken.
I just pulled up the last one, so let's see what it looks like. That was the third one. Here's the fourth one.
Okay. So, I mean, the play is being made. Look at that. Gets in behind. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I mean, from basically the end of the line, assisted to the middle of the box. Oh, man. Oof. It was good body, too.
Somebody just didn't mark him there.
Yeah. Listen, Andres, I love sub-quarterback concept. I love second-string quarterbacks. Some of my favorite players are second-string players.
Noah Allen and David Martinez just kind of nobody marked them up in the middle of the box. And Toto Aviles bodied that guy shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, that basically ends the game. Lucho Acosta gets a yellow card. Dallas makes a couple substitutions. We try to play offense with this gaggle of players, with this offensive/defensive team that we have on the pitch now. And we end up losing a game that we had in the bag.
Yeah, well, I think that's the toughest part of it, right? Because you could talk about it being the B team or not. If you're up 3-1 in the 65th minute, you should win.
Supercalifragilistic says, sorry, but no more this B team, which I get it. 4 goals conceded, winning 3-1. There aren't many excuses, to be frank.
No, I agree. And Allende almost ends the game with that free kick. I was thinking at that moment, who would you have take that shot? Because I wouldn't have done
No,
Allende.
no. I would have picked Allende.
You
I
would
think either him or Segovia. The funny thing is for the free kick, you had Allende there with Noah Allen, and then behind them you have Toto
Redondo.
Aviles. No, Redondo, that's right. And then Lujan all the way behind him.
But I wouldn't have picked Allende. I was surprised that he took it. He did a great job.
would've picked
I would have
Segovia.
gone either Segovia or Redondo. I felt like I've seen a lot more accuracy
Oh.
with their balls. Yeah, I did.
Redondo.
Yeah, I would have taken Redondo. One of those two. I wasn't expecting Allende to do well with that. So yeah, but he surprised me. That if he's a little further or it dips just a little sooner, that goes in.
So Dennis Lopez dropping bombs here. Play it again, Chris. Let's hear all the football experts say why it was Drake's fault.
All right. Well, luckily I haven't heard anybody say that.
No, there were people in the chat that were lighting Drake up. There were people in the chat.
Oh wow. This game felt really 2022 to me.
It did.
Playing players out of position.
Yeah.
Giving up random goals, scoring
Phil
random
Neville.
goals. Yes, this felt very 2022. It was a nice throwback.
Yeah.
But first loss of the MLS regular season.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dennis is saying the chat is lashing out on Drake. I mean, if I look back at the chat, we'll see that there's Drake hate for sure.
Well, I had saved this because it said I did not like the Messi.
This, oh my goodness, thank goodness, Duran WA. Shout out to you for bringing this up because I'm going to tell you this. I totally forgot it. Thank God that you brought this up because when they did tie 3-3, everybody, and it was weird. Like half the crowd was saying Messi, Messi, Messi. The other one was like telling them to shut the hell up.
Yeah,
and it kind of died down after a while. It wasn't like a stadium. Duran, chime in, please. It wasn't like a stadium-wide chant. It was like sprinkles. Maybe.
I mean, they have the same name.
He had a great drop right there, which they did start saying Messi. I was grossed out.
Well, because he's not playing.
Because he's not even on the bench. Like, okay, he's on the bench. Okay, you want to try to call him out, right? Get in the game.
Yeah, check in, yeah.
But, like, he wasn't even on the bench. And you're going to do this Messi crap? Like, what? You think he's just going to leave his club suite, get dressed, and jump in the last 10 minutes? Like, come on.
I kind of agree with you. In the aspect of, if I'm a player on the pitch and I just gave up a 3-1 lead and now we're tied 3-3 and I hear the crowd chanting that,
yeah, that's awful.
In my mind, I'm like, they're basically saying I'm crap. And I get it. That's how the crowd probably feels. But like, if it's their home swat, try to like at some point, like make them. We still got a chance. Like hype them up. Don't make them feel worse. But the crowd's entitled to do whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're paying customers, but Francisco screaming for the people in the back. That chant is disrespectful with the guys that are playing. And again, if he's on the bench, I get it.
I can't wait till you Americans don't appreciate Messi's comments coming up.
Oh no, that's oh my God, we're gonna get fucking blazed on the chat, on the freaking comments. Yeah. This I'll accept. Fire my shit like that. I would like.
No, yeah. Well, I think this one was on Mascherano, and now that's it. We were 0-0 with Chicago. Toronto. Did we draw 0-0 with Toronto also?
We drew with them. I don't know if it was draw 0-0, but it was a draw.
Check real quick.
I'll check right now. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either 0-0 or 1-1, and the official score line for that.
It was 1-1.
Yeah.
So in our last 4 games, 0-0 Chicago, 1-0 Columbus, which was a Rob Van Persie header by Kremaki. Yeah. Then 2-0 Vancouver, we lose, no goals. And then today we're up 3-1 and we give that up, we lose 4-3.
But I don't even want to count like the goals that we scored to those other games. Because again, this was a completely different 11. aside from Falcon, like I don't feel comfortable giving this game of goals to the normal 10. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you're saying.
Like, I mean, it counts for the team, but at the same time, like, is it really the 11 that starts consistently?
Okay. But did you feel like our offense looked more, how could I say? I don't want to say more
It wasn't.
potent, but they looked alive.
They
looked
looked
like they were making
freer.
runs. They looked free. They weren't necessarily looking for Messi.
Yes.
They were just going ahead and find the space, run into the space, create. And it just looked better, unfortunately. And I wish, like Segovia, for example, that last game against Vancouver, he has a chance to take a shot. And then he sees Messi to his left with like two defenders on him. And he's like, let me lay it off for Messi.
Yeah.
It's like these guys, I don't know why they feel so, I don't know. They just don't feel the freedom to play, I guess. I felt like they looked more free today. But then again, it's the Young Bucks.
But this is where you could see not just the totality of players on the pitch, but this is where you could see people like Benha feel more comfortable without relying on this big, shadowy, messy figure that's on the pitch.
And Peter says they do look free, but that works both ways. Free at the back, concedes for a goal. But you know what? I'm talking about the first 65 minutes. One of those goals, the second goal, it was just plain luck, in my opinion. The way it kind of just deflected and went over Drake. And then the other two goals, yeah, I agree. That
defensively we were shit.
Yeah, those were bad. But
go ahead, Danny.
The first 65 minutes, I thought the team looked really good.
Listen, if you think I'm a bad reactor, Danny, Jay Vasquez says, call it a season. Declare the start of team rebuild. Looking forward to next season. Queasy face. That's it. Jay Vasquez is ready. Hang it up.
We've played 9 games this season. I know it feels like more, but it's been 9 games in the regular season.
Yes.
We still have 25 to go. We're only a quarter of the way through.
I mean, Cringe is not feeling good right now.
No.
It says we're going to get cooked. We're going to have a really bad stretch. Like, Bruni is saying, I'm not sold. And Matt Benjamin Jeff says, I don't mean to overreact, but it's over. Never winning again. I mean, we're imploding, guys. What a mess, huh?
You got to believe, ladies and
gentlemen. I mean, we got a to the death game this Wednesday, 8:00, and you guys are ready to just hang them up. The Vancouver Chiefs who are going to be playing.
If we win on Wednesday, right? Let's say we win 3-0. We went outright in the 90 minutes. So we win 3-0, hypothetically.
We win.
Is all of this forgotten and forgiven?
Yes. We win everything. Fuck Dallas. Everything is for the taking. Yes or no, chat? We win everything.
If we win on Wednesday, that's it.
If we win on Wednesday,
win the quadruple.
Yes or no? If we win on Wednesday, yes or no? Oh. Yes, this is perfect. I am Jekka. Yes, it is American sports mentality.
Oh, all right. So standouts.
Standouts. Listen. As far as stands out, look, everybody's saying yeah. By the way, Danny. So like yes, it literally will
one win and everything. But everything. Okay. But I'll double that. And if we lose, could you imagine that post game? You know what sucks is that the game it starts at 8, it ends at 10, and I'm assuming it's going to be packed. So that post game for us isn't going to start till like 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah.
So we're really going to have people's emotions, whether it be high or low, really sunk in by the time we finally get on here.
Oh my goodness! If it's a loss, everybody. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd lose everybody because they're just in depressed land.
So standouts.
Standouts to me, I'll tell you. Standout was Maxi Falcon. I'm gonna go with Maxi Falcon, especially considering that he's not getting rest in between these games.
Okay.
Maxi Falcon stood out to me pretty well.
I'm gonna say Bright, Frey, I saw Kremaki for everybody that's hating. I thought he had a good game.
We're talking about standouts, guys. We're not at man of the match other than Messi.
I'm gonna go with those three. I'm gonna go Frey, Bright, and Kremaki. I thought Fafa was doing a decent job. Was he injured? Because I felt like he kept going down, limping, holding his leg, but then I'll be like, okay, he's gonna get subbed out, and then he would keep playing. But I thought Fafa did a decent job also.
He did get hurt a number of times. I'd say at least 2 to 3 times.
There was a point where somebody stepped on his thigh towards the end of the first half, and I was like, well, he's gonna leave the game for sure, and he just kept playing.
Yes, I thought they were going to take him out at some point in the first half. I thought they were going to take him out, but they didn't.
All right, que pena.
So we're going to go with que pena first. You don't want to do man of the match because que pena. We usually go. Like that way. I know, but I feel like the que pena is like very easy to say. Mascherano gets the que pena. Like okay. I'm tired of giving it to players that don't deserve it. Other than that, you want me to give it to a player? Gonzalo Lujan. Que pena. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of Lujan.
I'm with you. I think that's a good choice.
Alejandro saying Segovia. And
I don't know.
This I agree with. Andres, he lost a lot of balls, Bright lost a lot of balls, but he also stole balls like a beast. Like, you can't hate his defense is super on point. He wins duels all the time. He's just got to stop making passes that are more than like 10, 15 feet in front of him. He's going to have to like find a better passer. Boom, give it to him.
That's what he was doing last year. I think this year he's tried to get out of his comfort zone, and he's tried to be a little more complete of a player. Since that's basically what everybody says he's missing.
The Campena goes to also the crowd that chanted Messi. Yes, they do get the Campena award.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that paid to go to that game just for that. So I feel they're paying.
Alfonso is que pena. Can we stop the conversation that he has the next coming because he scored once? Mike V with a little spicy take, huh?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to agree with him basically on the que pena for today for Alfonso. But just in general, I've never understood everybody's obsession. I've never seen once what everybody says that they're so excited about. He had that game-winning goal last year. Was it against DC, I want to say? But, nice. But I've never understood the obsession with Alfonso either. So I'm with Mike V as far as overall the perception of Alfonso, but not necessarily today's game.
I'm gonna tell you right now before we get your que pena. Jay Vasquez, you're speaking dangerous talk right now. Start Obando over Suarez in Vancouver game. Suarez is a legend, but that's the thing. Those years are clearly behind him. Suarez non-factor against quality team like Vancouver. This is danger. Vasquez.
Do you feel like Obando had a very good game?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
I'm looking here at his stats. He was dispossessed 3 times.
By the way, Alfonso had a clear opportunity also. Blew it.
Obando completed 68% of his passes. He had 31 touches. And this game was more wide open than what Luis Suarez has been seeing recently. Yes. And I'm in no way defending Luis Suarez because he has been playing like crap recently. But when I saw, I know he scored a goal.
But what does that mean? He scored like a freaking karate kick where like the right place, right time.
So did we forget about Obando's last game? And I don't want to hold that over his head either. But like we're talking about a do or die game to go to the final. I'm not about to put in Obando. No.
You guys are wild if you guys want Obando. Mike V saying Obando can't start because he's in the box striker and we play tiki-taka, which he can't.
Which he received the service today, right? That cross from Frey, he got it. He karate chopped it into the back of the net. That's great. But like I said, he had 31 touches. This game was open. He could have gotten more touches, but he was waiting for service. He only completed 68% of his passes. He was dispossessed 3 times because he doesn't have the greatest footwork. So I'm not criticizing him, but I'm not going to come out and say that I'm going to start him in such an important game over Luis Suarez that has the experience. No way. Luis Suarez has to be having like a horrendous game, and then maybe you put him in as a sub. But you got to start him. You got to give Luis Suarez a chance to kind of pull out some of that veteran magic. He's got it somewhere hidden in there. It's just been lost the last month. But I would give him a chance at least to start the game.
So who would you give your que pena to?
Oh, I'm going with Lujan also.
Lujan.
I mean,
so it's
I felt like up until the 65th minute, everybody on the screen had a decent game outside of him.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody had a decent game except for him. So
Aviles
won a whole other game without getting a yellow card.
Congratulations to that for sure.
Yeah. So
this ref was pretty good about it though.
Physical game.
Yes, this was a very chippy game.
Somebody on the ground. Like they were getting physical today.
Very chippy game. Ref held his whistle, held the card.
Yeah.
I think the first card that was given was to Lucho Acosta, like at the end of the game.
And that was for just yapping too much.
For just yapping. So he let the players play. Whoever this referee is, we need him more.
Yeah. And then back to the whole Obando thing. Now, Luis Suarez, it's the 60th minute, and he's looked like dog poop. All right, let's put Obando in 65th, 70th minute, see if there's a spark that maybe we need. But no way am I starting Obando. Christoph 2.0. You know, Scotty Tuhari from Drive Pink Dialogue is also saying that he's been telling me that he thinks he's Christoph. Now, I thought Christoph was a good defender. He just didn't play good under Tata because he kept playing that high line. But you put Christoph on somebody that likes to play a low block, like St. Louis, Nashville. I don't know if they're not really playing it as much for BJ Callahan, but if you put Christoph on a team like that, I thought Christoph was a good defender. Lujan just hasn't looked great at all.
He might be a top 5 defender if you put him on a team like that.
Lujan, the best I've seen him was the LAFC first leg match at right back, where the first 5 minutes he looked like crap, and then he settled in, and then he had a good last 80 minutes of the game. I think that's the best I've seen Lujan is at right back.
So, Danny, man of the match other than Messi, who's getting it for you? Because I'm giving it to Ian Frey.
Well, okay, I see that you didn't let me answer because you wanted to say that first. All right.
Yes. Yes, I did.
All right, so I'll go with Maxi Falcon. I thought that he was having a hell of a game. I thought he was integral in the fact that we were playing a back line that doesn't rarely ever play together. Frey, Martinez, Lujan, and Falcon with Drake behind them. Like, those are never playing together. They've never played together. And I thought that they were doing a great job. And obviously, they let in that goal right before he got subbed out, that lucky goal off that set piece. And then things kind of just fell apart when Falcon came out the game. So, to me, Ian Frey, but since you said that, I'll go Maxi Falcon.
So then, I mean, look, Upcode's saying Frey was half our defense and the spark we need on Wednesday. This is, I guess, the next discussion and the final discussion. I don't know if we should save this for tomorrow, or I don't know if we're going to do a show tomorrow, but
we generally we'll come on here on Mondays when we do a Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, this is a conversation that needs to be had.
We'll Tuesday when we do the preview. We'll do it on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a little tease for you guys.
No. Look, there's gonna be plenty of people talking about Wednesday's game.
And you know what, Soccer Daddy, you're asking, will you guys support Vancouver after Wednesday? Hopefully, we won't need to support them. But if they do beat us Wednesday, which they're not, but if they do, I mean, it's essentially going to be a final of an MLS team versus Liga MX team.
I think he means just in general.
Oh, like literally change teams.
No, he means like, you're just going to support them. Like, oh, I hope they do well. Good for them.
I mean, you know, they're a good team. I've
they're
always wanted Vancouver to watch to do well. Yeah,
they're fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I look at the West Coast, if you guys watch the Battered MLS Fan Show, you guys will know that I like supporting Colorado. I just like Colorado.
Yeah.
So that's the team in the West Coast that I kind of pushed for a little bit this season, and
Well,
for no reason. I have no idea why. I just enjoy watching them.
right here, the Italia moment of the match. Italia saying his phrase vision and crosses to create goals.
Oh, mine was Kremaki taking that free kick.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the moment of the match for me. Like that was wild.
And my moment of the match is Alfonso literally blowing a one-on-one opportunity to be patient and like put it at the perfect spot.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I told you that Alfonso blew a shot.
Yes. But what the hell was he doing?
He could have
Why did he
chipped
wait
him.
so long?
He could have gone near
Chipped
post.
it, or get around the keeper.
Yes.
Kick it to your left. Like there was so many options. What was he doing? That goal puts away the game.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back.
But
Alfonso, no. Que pena. The que pena award goes to Alfonso, and like Mike V said, anybody that said that this guy's the second coming, I completely forgot about that play.
Hold on, let me find that comment for you.
That's who gets the que pena award, Alfonso, for blowing this game for us. Because if not for that, that should be a goal, and we at least get out of here with a draw, at least, and we probably win. So my que pena, I'm taking it back. Lujan, you can continue to suck on your own. It goes to Alfonso.
Look at this. Mike V saying Alfonso was also in the way of him. Alfonso was wild bad today.
Yeah.
I think Mike V has found another hashtag out guy.
Yeah, and then there was a penalty I didn't call. I believe it was a Fafa that they didn't call a PK. All right. Well, I think that's
for
about
all
it.
of
We
those.
covered just.
No, I was going to say for all of those people that are looking for football analysis, running behinds and compact whatever, that always hear about this guy Alfonso being the next coming of striker central. Guy.
Circus said Alfonso was waiting for Messi. I feel like that's what all the young guys do, though, right? Like they're like, "Oh wait, I got a chance, but where's Messi? Because I got to lay it off to Messi." Good comment, Circus Fun. All right, and then right before we close this out, real quick, who do you think was the highest graded player on FootMob?
You know what? Let me take a look at the starting lineup for a second. I mean, I think I saw somebody mention it, but let me just be playful here. I think maybe I'd say Falcon.
Okay, well, if you already saw it, then you know it's
Ben Krem. Yes.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, then second would be Maxi Falcon.
No, it would be Obando. Because obviously you can.
Oh, because of the stupid fucking goal. Bingo.
Yeah. And then Fafa, because as at least here it says that he has a goal, so 7.1, and then David Martinez because of a goal has a 7. So who do you think is the highest that doesn't have a goal or an assist?
Ian Frey. Oh, that doesn't have a goal or an assist.
Yeah,
because Ian Frey had 2 assists.
Yep, 1.
So I would say Falcon.
No, Yannick Bright. And then who's the lowest?
Bright? Oh, no, the lowest has got to be either Lujan or Alfonso.
It is Toto Aviles and then Lujan.
Wow. Lujan had a whole game to just be mid as hell.
I don't know, but here I don't know. I can't trust FootMob, though, because they have Toto Aviles lined up here like a center back. So I don't know if that, skews his rating because they have him lined up here as a center back. And he really wasn't back there.
Upcode is saying FootMob didn't watch the game. Sorry, he sucked.
All right. Well, all right. I think that's it. Chris, any final thoughts?
No, man. Next game, I'm shook as hell. Are you confident about this game? I'm not.
I wouldn't say confident, but I am not. I don't think all hope is lost. I think we can win. The issue is, how much are we going to win by?
I mean, look at this team we have, and you're saying, I think? We have
that's what I'm saying. I think we can win. At home with our guys, I think we can win. The issue is, how much can we win by? Because that's where the issue is, right? Because it's not winning. It's winning by a certain amount. You have to win by 3.
2-0, Then you get extra
to
time.
go to extra time, and then 3-0, 4-1, 5-2, 6-3, and so on. You have to win by 3 goals. So that's why. Yes.
The
Do I think we
Vancouver
can win?
Chefs.
Yes. Do I think we can win by 3? That's where it's going to be different. Now, I will tell you, if Vancouver is going to score, I really hope that they do it the way LAFC did it in the first 10 minutes, because it's tough when you're playing your ass off and then you give one up in the 30th, 40th minute, because then things start getting out of hand. But you know what? I believe.
You're
So
Rubita here with It's Football. Anything can happen. I don't want this response, Rubita.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, and I don't want to say confident, because I think that it's winning by 3 is a lot, especially against a good team. But I believe that it can happen. I think I can't imagine, and again, maybe this is me being a little too. I guess the word is confident. And I can't imagine that final going down without Miami being in it.
But now you're getting into like this mentality right here, where I mean, my name is Jiv says we are Real Madrid in this situation.
Yeah, but the
you're
thing
getting
is,
into like the home cooking.
But in sports, it almost feels that way, right? Like in sports, not always, but a lot of the time, the teams that you expect to make it. I remember the Golden State Warriors. I'm going off on a tangent here, but the Golden State Warriors had Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And then the Houston Rockets go up 3-1 in the series. And you're like, okay, they might lose, but I still expected them in the finals, even though they needed to win 3 games in a row. And they won the 3 games in a row. It's like you almost feel like, yeah, I know there's a chance. Like the Boston Celtics are up on the Miami Heat 3-2. They're playing in Boston game 6. But you kind of feel like, but the Heat are supposed to be in the final. And then LeBron has the game of his life. They win the last 2 games, and then they're in the NBA final. Like, that's just how I feel. Again, it doesn't mean that they're going to win. But until I see that Inter Miami doesn't go to the final, I won't believe that they won't be in the final.
Yeah.
Upcode. Sad fact, we have not scored 4 goals all season. This is true. But it hasn't been a long season, and we haven't had to. So, we'll see.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a fun game this Wednesday, guys. Go out there if you haven't gotten tickets.
If we don't give up a goal, all we need is 2.
That's right.
So, all right, Chris, final thoughts.
No, that's it, man. Wednesday. Let's go. Tune in on Tuesday with us. We're going to cover Vancouver once again and hopefully not get cooked.
Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow en español, Las Garzas a las 10 de la noche. We'll be talking about the loss to Vancouver with Danny Solana, Xavier Lavos on the ready to get hurt again. No, I'm wearing a Believe shirt on Wednesday. Okay, on Wednesday, if you're at the game and you see me, you'll see me. I'm rocking a Believe shirt all week long. We'll be going ahead and didn't want
Super Sun. Sorry. This happened to me with United in Europa against Lyon. Mind you, I don't believe in United for anything, but feels that way with Europa.
And that was a crazy comeback. So it can happen. Again, tomorrow night, Las Garzas, and shout out to I Am Jekka. Thank you for that. Las Garzas a las 10 at 10 o'clock if you speak Spanish. We'll be talking about the last 2 losses and then previewing the Vancouver game on Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, we'll be back for our preview. I think that because we already had Sam on to talk about basically the whole roster, what we could do is maybe we could just do the first half, just you and I, talking about what we want, what we expect the team to do, and then we'll have him jump on for the last half hour.
That sounds good.
Yeah, because I don't think that we need to talk to him for a full hour again, since he basically already broke down the roster for us and everything. But we'll be back on Tuesday to talk preview of the Vancouver Whitecaps game, second leg. And then Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, we'll be doing the MLS recap. It was a fun week, a lot of ass kickings. And Nashville put 7 on Triple G's head. So that'll be a fun episode on Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday will be the game that we're all looking forward to. We'll be there. And then an hour or an hour and a half after the game is over, we'll be on here for our post-game show. So it's a fun week. Hopefully we are celebrating Wednesday night, but we just got to wait and see. But never stop believing, man. Anything can happen in the sport. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And like my name is Jeff said, Chris, do not bet. And for those of you in the chat, as always, you guys are the best part of the show. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And for those of you that are not Americans and you want to insult us, please be kind.
Please.
And we'll be back tomorrow night in Espanol, Tuesday in English. So until the next one, have a good one.
Miami fucked my